Just a few weeks ago, Manchester City fans were dreaming of another successful ending to a season that had tested us in ways we never expected. But football can change in an instant. 2 matches, 90 minutes, and another 90. And suddenly the future of Manchester City looked completely different. Pep Guardiola shocked the football world with a bombshell announcement. Key players who helped build City's dominance are preparing to leave. Several trusted members of Pep's coaching staffs are also heading for an exit. Questions remain over the future of Josko Gvardiol, and for the first time in nearly a decade, Manchester City are preparing for a future that may not include the greatest manager in the club's history. Today, we are looking back at the season that changed everything. Car Finance 24, we are a trusted car finance broker helping drivers find finance solutions that work for them, even when the credit history isn't perfect. With high vehicle finance acceptance rates and access to a wide panel of lenders, we make it easier to get behind the wheel of your next car. Getting started is simple. Scan the barcode on your screen now or click the link in our bio to check your options. Now, don't let bad credit stop your journey. Car Finance 24 helping more people drive away with confidence. Car Finance 24, your road to vehicle finance starts here. And of course, finance approval is subject to status, affordability checks, and lender criteria. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, scan the barcode or click the link in my bio. Season that never felt comfortable. Let's be honest, this season never really felt like Manchester City. There were moments of brilliance, moments where the team looked unstoppable, but were also injuries, inconsistencies, and performances that left fans frustrated. For years, Pep Guardiola City set standards nobody else could match. Control, intensity, precision, you can name a few, but throughout this campaign, something felt different. The squad looked tired. Several senior players were entering the later stages of their careers, and for the first time in years, questions began appearing about what the next version of Manchester City would look like. Despite all of that, City remained alive in every major objective. The season was still in our hands until those two final matches. The two games that changed everything. Football seasons are remembered for defining moments, and for Manchester City, the final 2 matches will be remembered as the games that changed the course of the club. Coming into those fixtures, City still had everything to play for. There was belief after winning the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. There was hope. There was confidence that this team would once again find a way after all they had done it countless times before. But football doesn't care about history. It doesn't care about reputation. It only cares about what happens on the pitch. Mistakes that might have gone unpunished in previous years suddenly became costly. Opportunities were missed. Margins became decisive. And as the final whistle blew on the second match, the reality hit. The season had slipped away. The objectives were gone. And a chapter of Manchester City history was coming to an end, and it was very sad to actually look at those two last matches. And yeah, at the time, nobody knew just how significant those two games would become, because most of us, we thought it would be decided by the last match, because what happened next would shake the club to its core. And that's how I have looked at it, because we expected that Manchester City was going to go up until to the end. But I think because of the rumors of Pep leaving also made some shockwaves to, I guess even the players get affected the same way we also get affected by such news. So Pep's shock announcement, it was we expected it, but we didn't expect it the way it came. So then came the announcement, the moment every Manchester City fan hoped would never arrive. Pep Guardiola announced that he would be leaving Manchester City. A manager who transformed the club, and a manager who redefined English football, that I say it without doubt. A manager who delivered trophies, records, unforgettable moments, and a style of football that inspired millions. When Pep arrived, City were already successful. When Pep leaves, he leaves behind a footballing empire. Look at Manchester City right now. League titles, domestic cups, European glory, historic records, and a legacy that may never be matched. For nearly a decade, Pep Guardiola became synonymous with Manchester City. For an entire generation of supporters, Pep is Manchester City. So hearing those words was difficult, not just because of what he achieved, but because every fan, every supporter knew that this marked the end of an era. And it was more of a happy, sad moment for us, because come to look at it, we all felt that it was time for Pep to leave. But at the same time, we were sad because he was leaving. We were happy for the legacy that he had just left for us as Manchester City, from the time that he joined us up to the moment where we are now. We all felt sad, but at the moment we were happy to celebrate the legacy that he had left for us. So we talk about the exodus. And Pep's departure wasn't the only major change. Reports quickly emerged that several long-serving figures would also be leaving. John Stones, a player who reinvented himself under Pep, one of the most intelligent defenders we have ever seen wear the shirt, a player whose role in City's success cannot be overstated. Then there is Bernardo Silva, the ultimate Pep Guardiola footballer. Relentless work rate, technical brilliance, big game mentality. Bernardo Silva was just, year after year, Bernardo gave everything for this football club. And now it appears his journey may also be reaching its conclusion. But the changes don't stop with the players. 5 key members of Pep's backroom staff are also expected to leave, of which I would say they've already officially announced, including the 2 major names, Pep Lijnders and Kolo Touré, Pep Guardiola's assistant managers, alongside assistant coaches and staff who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to help create one of the greatest football teams English football has ever seen. Fans often focus on players, but championship winning cultures are built by entire organizations. These departures represent the loss of years of experience, knowledge, and leadership. Manchester City won't just be replacing individuals. They will be rebuilding an entire football operation. And from the look of things, we know there are rumors that are already coming of the new manager coming in, and it will be an entire new era, and it will be very difficult for the incoming manager who hasn't been officially been announced. You know, guys, me, I don't like announcing rumors and speculations, but even though it is to everybody's knowledge, I'll only speak of something when it has officially been stated by Manchester City. And now the chairman had an interview, which is recently on the official website for Manchester City. Amid all the uncertainty, and the club's chairman's address supporters, and his message was clear. Manchester City will continue moving forward. The chairman acknowledged the disappointment of the season. He organized the emotional impact of seeing legendary figures depart, but also emphasized something important. Manchester City is bigger than any single player, bigger than any single manager. The foundation remains very, very strong. The academy continues to produce talent, which is actually basically our foundation. The recruitment structure remains among the best in the world football. The facilities remain world class. You can see with the recent women's facilities that have been built, and the ambition remains unchanged. The chairman spoke about evolution rather than decline, about transition rather than collapse, about writing the next chapter rather than mourning the previous one. Even though the previous one has been great, for supporters, that message matters for us. Because while one era may be ending, another is about to begin. We don't know what the future holds for us, but we are hopeful that whoever is coming in, as difficult as it is to fill the shoes of Pep Guardiola, we remain hopeful because this is a great club with great facilities, great administrators, and we have got good sponsors that are supporting the club, which can help us even when we recruit new players and also new managers. It helps us to get the best, and the best players wants to come to the best team in the world. Soko Pro Logistics Solutions. Looking for a transport partner you can trust? Welcome to Soko Pro Logistics Solutions, Liverpool's reliable choice for fast, secure, and affordable logistics services. Whether it's a single package, bulk transport, residential relocation, or commercial deliveries, our experienced team ensures every shipment arrives safely and on time. At Soko Pro Logistics Solutions, we put our customers first, offering tailored logistics solutions designed around your needs, offering reliable, professional, efficient. That's the Soko promise. Soko Pro Logistics Solutions, moving your world, one delivery at a time. Contacts today and experience logistics made simple. Soko Pro Logistics Solutions, fast, secure, and reliable. Josko Gvardiol's uncertainty. One situation that continues to generate discussion in the future of Josko Gvardiol since arriving at Manchester City. Gvardiol has shown exactly why he was considered one of Europe's elite defenders. His composure, his athleticism, his versatility, his ability to step into midfield and contribute in possession. At times this season, he was one of the City's most consistent performers. However, speculation regarding his future has begun to emerge, and this is coming at the background of his injury. Nothing is certain at the moment. Nothing has been decided publicly. But in a summer already filled with change, supporters will be hoping that Gvardiol remains a cornerstone of the next generation, because if City are entering a new era, players like Gvardiol could become the faces of it. Of course, he was hit with an injury last season, this that we have just concluded, but he remains our very important player, and I'm hoping that he would stay. He would decide, I'm sure, after the World Cup. He's still thinking about it and how he's going to play during the World Cup. And I'm told Manchester City has already prepared a contract for him, which is on the table already. So it's up to him to decide what he wants to do with his future. And I hope he will stay, because our defense really need an extra legs, especially with the upcoming season that will be with more games, also including with the World Cup. These players will play more games than other seasons. To the World Cup is underway. While Manchester City begin planning for the future, many of our players now turn their attention towards the World Cup. I think Manchester City, with the highest number of players that are representing Manchester City in the World Cup. For younger players, it's a chance to establish themselves among the world's elite. The tournament will provide unforgettable moments, new rivalries, new stories, and perhaps even future transfer targets that City could also pursue. As fans, we will be watching closely, supporting our players, of course, and wondering what impact the competition might have on Manchester City next season. You know, a lot happens in World Cup. There might be injuries, and also some of our targets, we will be closely monitoring them, because right now the most important target that Manchester City is on Elliot Anderson, and we are hoping that we will be able to close it actually before the World Cup. I know the World Cup is within a week's time, but I'm hoping that Nottingham Forest will come to the table and agree a very reasonable contract and fee, because the price tag that they are putting on Elliot Anderson is ridiculous, man. But we are looking forward to that transfer update. Transfer news is coming up as well at the backdrop of the World Cup, and perhaps the most exciting part of this off-season. We are only days away from the transfer season truly begin. In just a week's time, rumors will become negotiations will become deals, and deals could define Manchester City's future. The club faces huge decisions. Who replacing departing legends? Who becomes the face of the next era? Which youngster will arrive, and which established names could still leave? One thing is certain though. This could be the most important transfer window Manchester City have ever experienced in years. This one, it looks different, but I'm really looking forward to what kind of players we are going to purchase during this summer. And as you have heard the chairman say about the two most important signings that we signed during the January transfers. Those transfers are mostly the transfers that we, as Manchester City, could have signed during the summer. So I'm just hoping that we are going to have the biggest signings. We are looking at Elliot Anderson and possibly Tonali. Tonali might be able, because looking at Rodri, he's also, we are so skeptical about him, whether he's going to stay or not. And also Nico Gonzalez, his future is not really certain that he's going to stay. So, and we are really expecting those two names to be included into our transfer news and updates. In conclusion, every great football story has chapters. Some begin, some end, and some change everything. This season may ultimately be remembered not for what Manchester City have won, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, but for what it represented, the end of an extraordinary era and the beginning of something completely new. Pep Guardiola's legacy is secure forever. The departing players will always be Manchester City legends. But now, attention turns toward the future. It's a new manager, a new squad, a new chapter. And as always, we will be there from the beginning, where I have decided that I'm going to support Manchester City. For me now, it's since 2008, and it was a conscious decision that I'm going to support this city. And what I can say is, I would say thank you to Pep. Once a blue, always a blue. You have defined the success of Manchester City. We have been honored as the Manchester City supporters, and we really love what we have achieved together. It was a great experience watching you on the touchline, leading our boys. And now, as we look forward to the new chapter of Man City, we will be here. We will be bringing you all the updates, more transfer news, more news from Manchester City. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please do me a favor, because I see there are more people watching this channel, but they haven't subscribed. So please press that subscribe button. Please also comment in the comment section. Let's get to talk about football, generally from a Manchester City point of view. Come on, City. Thank you. See you on the next.
And only now does he let go and let the love wash over him. A treble last year. By next weekend, perhaps a third City double. Without compromise, without tear.